Camera's on.
Camera is recording. Oh,
Pitch.
I wasn't finished
Pay up.
talking.
Pay attention and pay up. I watched Luca. Have you seen it yet?
Okay, so from what I haven't seen any commercials for it. It looks like a boy who wants to be not a mermaid anymore, or a sea monster or something, or he is the Loch Ness monster's son.
Tell me the story.
Loch Ness.
Tell me the whole plot of the movie.
That's Luca, right? Luca.
Yeah.
Loch Ness, Luca. That's so close.
Tell me the plot of the whole story.
Okay, so the story is there's a boy fish named, he's a boy fish, not a male fish. He's a boy fish, boy dash fish, named Luca, who is the son of the Loch Ness monster, and a beluga whale, who's a very nice beluga whale. And he's like, oh, I want to be a human. He's got to be a human because he's half human. He wants to be a human. He's basically a mermaid.
And that's not the plot.
That's all I know.
That's the character. Now what's the plot? What do they do?
Basically, they have these spheres that are two different colors, red and white. And there's a bunch of monsters out in the world, and they fight basically to the death. Just before that, they want to knock them out, throw these spheres at them. It captures them. They go inside the sphere.
Like Pokemon?
It'd be the very best that he ever was.
Nice.
Okay, no, tell me what Luca's about.
Luca, it's about like this little boy. He's a sea monster, but he's Italian.
What?
Yeah, it's based in Italy.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So there's a lot of like Italian like cultural references and shit, which is cool. Grandma, she watches the TV at 99 volume, and then I go up there and I mute it because I can't hear anything. It's just like loud TV. It's like, why do you turn the TV down? Like, I muted it. Like, you can't even tell I muted it. Like, she turned the TV. She's like, unmute it. All right, turn that volume back up. And I'm like, I can't hear you. I'm just gonna turn up and just look at you then.
That's funny.
Luca, it's about an Italian sea monster, but his whole family. I don't know. I feel like it's been a story that's been told already. Kind of like parents want to protect you and like keep you safe from harm and like the dangers of the actual world kind of thing. So they're like, oh, sea monsters, we stay in the sea, we don't go anywhere else and don't go to the surface because land monsters
as in
scary.
humans.
Yeah,
humans.
are scary.
So humans are the monsters.
Kind
is
of.
it kind
it's
of
more
like
Disney? It's not like oh, I'm so scared.
okay.
It's like Disney. It's kind of like they're like, just stay away from the humans. Not like they're gonna murder your whole family kind of thing. Well, like they would, but they don't like explicitly say that.
They're gonna take our secret tomato sauce recipe.
They're gonna pillage and do things to villagers in the sea.
Sea villagers.
Villagers.
Okay.
Where was I?
Civilians.
Nice.
Like that?
Yeah. Where was I? So then the young boy is like an explorer, adventurer, needs to like expand his horizons as he grows as an adult, and then he like goes to the surface, and then once you like get out of the water, you turn human.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then he meets his friend, and they go on this little adventure, and then like loving it, and they want to buy a Vespa because Vespas are the best things in the world. And then if you get splashed with water, you turn back into sea monster. It was like an adventure of like them going to the big city and like trying not to show that they're sea monsters because everyone hates the sea monsters. It was a good movie. I really liked it. You should watch it.
Good.
Have you seen Coco?
I have seen Coco. It wasn't as my heartstrings weren't pulled as strongly as others, but yeah.
Really?
I enjoyed it.
It was up there.
Remember me. By the way, if you guys hear noise, Mitch's grandma's watching TV.
At 99 volume.
I got 99 volume, but a grandson ain't one.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're here again.
Yo, okay. Well, first of all, how are you? I haven't seen you in what feels like
me or them?
A month. You.
How are you guys?
We'll get to them in a second. How are you?
Who are they? I'm good, man. I'm just getting back to life. I had exams, so now I'm sleeping in a lot.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us about
my sleep?
School and where you've been?
I sleep about 10 hours a day.
I didn't ask.
Where have I been? I went camping. So I had my exams, and they went well, and then I went camping, and I did not like it.
Why did you like it?
Maybe because like I'd never done it before.
Oh, what?
I'd never been camping.
Never?
No.
Not even with us?
Like intense?
I don't know. Is this intense? What's intense?
Intense.
Intense? Intense.
In a tent.
But intense camping as well.
They're both. Once you're in a tent, it gets intense.
True.
You've done the tents?
I've done tents. I've done like no electricity. I think I've done no washroom. Nah, maybe not. Maybe not.
It's cool, but the fact that I've never done it, and I guess I come from the city, it's kind of like, whoa, I like the AC. And
Well, you guys went when it was like super humid and hot. I'm assuming it was still there too.
yeah, very.
Nice. Well, that's
Not so nice.
That's rough.
And it's like you wake up at when the sun comes up because you're in a tent, but it's also like hot because the sun's already hitting the tent hard. And it's like 9 and I'm sweating and it's hot and
you're like,
stuffy
you
in
want to
there.
sleep in,
It's
but
like
it's
6
like,
of us in this tent that only fits 4, and it's like just this ain't it.
Nice.
So we went home a little earlier because I liked my bed and I wanted to shower. Everyone was jealous because we got to leave early, and then we got pho, and then went home.
It's actually pho.
Pho.
I grew up saying pho, so I often say it wrong. I actually prefer to say pho than pho.
I think I say pho because most people say pho. Like I know it's pho, but I just don't say it because everyone always just calls it pho. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to me, pho sounds like you're trying to say fuck, but you just stop yourself. It's like pho. Like what the pho? Yeah, so like I prefer to say pho, but I know people grill me, so I say pho.
You know that one place on Yonge Street, Pho King Fabulous?
I don't think so.
But
On
so
Yonge?
if you say it, it's like fucking fabulous.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
I never put that together.
Near Young and Egg, I think. It's just south of there.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's Pho King. Pretty good. That's my favorite place to get pho, for sure. It's so good.
All right, dude. There are so many things I want to talk to you about. So I haven't seen him in probably 2 weeks, week and a half.
Dude, I saw you last week when we were out and we saw each other at work.
That wasn't last week. That wasn't last week.
100%. When was that?
More than 2 weeks ago. I would say maybe just under 2 weeks ago. Anyways, I just accumulate all these different ideas that I want to talk to him about, and I can't talk to him about them already because I'm gonna give it away. So I just have
Text me and then deletes it all. Oh, I'll wait till I see you.
I text you, hey Mitch, you don't know this, but I just typed out everything I want to talk to you about and deleted it. No, I have
wait till the podcast.
I have this little book that I write my ideas in because I don't want to forget them, and they're fun. I think you would.
I need to start doing that, but I think that when school settles up a bit, I'll be able to do that more because that's a good idea, and I want to do that. I do that with my other things, like my to-dos and my.
Yeah.
But with ideas is a cool idea. Yeah.
Well,
about your little black book.
You know, I recently found out what that term means.
Isn't it like a phone number book?
Little black book. It's like people you've slept with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I never knew that. It came up in a song or a TV show. I was like, what? It was a song. It was a J. Cole song. And I thought to myself, what? Why is he saying little black book? I've heard that before. What does that mean? I Googled it. It's like it's a list of all the, it's a conceptual list of the people you've slept with.
Oh, cool. I thought it was like
or people you could hit up again to sleep.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
From what I remember growing up, there's a movie called Little Black Book, I think. It was like a chick flick, like a rom-com. Yeah, I watched that. It's so good. Anyway, so it's like for her in the movie, from what I remember, it's just like a book of phone numbers. She like hits people up. And like I think she recently becomes single, so then she like goes through her little black book again.
Nice.
And she like finds her love. La di da.
Oh, going through the list of all the people that she
has previously been with,
Yeah.
and then or has the number of, and then see if they're like her true love is in there.
Okay.
If not, that is a good movie concept.
If anyone wants to buy the rights to that concept, hit us up. $12
each.
Okay.
All right. What's up?
Well, the first thing we should probably address is we said that we were going to touch on insecurities last time and how to love yourself through insecurities.
Okay.
Do you want me to start? I have a lot. I've done a bunch.
You have a lot of insecurities, buddy.
Well, less so now.
But they're more so, even if they are insecurities, they're insecurities that you are accepting of?
Yes.
Is that the kind of insecurities we're going to talk about right now?
I think for me, I still have insecurities, as I would assume most people do, but now I see them in a different light and I deal with them differently than I did previously.
Okay.
And I would probably argue that before, when I was younger, I just didn't even deal with them at all. I just thought to myself, oh, I hate this. I don't.
Yeah,
like this.
yeah. I feel like even people our age, I see that are insecure and they just haven't accepted it.
It's hard.
It's like once you accept it, then you can start like understanding that it's you and that's your character. Like,
yeah, it's hard to accept things that you don't like about yourself because you want to change them. You know, you could stop at, I don't like my hair, I want to change it, and then that's it. You just never like your hair unless you.
But do you change it?
You could change it. You could do things to cover it up. You could shave it off.
Yeah,
whatever,
but there's a difference between that and being like, oh, I don't like how my hair looks, so I'm gonna always wear a hat or stay inside or never go out. You know,
yeah, that'd be covering it up, or you do things that you could argue inhibit or restrict your life because of these insecurities.
for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
So I'll start with some silly ones. I used to never like my forehead. I have a big ass forehead.
Show the crowd. That's pretty big.
Yeah,
It's not like
it's billboard size. It's a 5 head. But when I was a
it's
kid,
billboard size.
when I was a kid, I was scrawny, I was lanky, but my head was huge. So there's a picture that I have of me holding a fish. I have braces. I'm toothpick skinny, and I just look like a troll. It's disgusting. And I'm holding a fish.
It smells
too.
like just like
Yeah, it's gross.
it
It's
looks like it
gross.
hurts.
It looks like someone punched me in the face a bunch of times. But I used to never like my forehead because it was big. I thought it covered way too much of my face. I wanted to change it. I wanted to like pull my hairline forward and down to make it smaller.
You can do that.
Well,
You can like surgically cut. Have you seen this before? You can like surgically cut the top of your forehead, and then they like pull your scalp down, and then make your forehead smaller.
yeah.
And
Well,
make your hairline longer.
now I don't want to because I've since grown. I've filled out my whole face is bigger. I guess I don't know. Like it's proportionate now.
You do got big ears.
I have small ears.
And I was playing.
Okay. When I was a kid, it was abnormally, in my mind, bigger than it should have been, and I didn't like it.
Top heavy, like my forehead just weighs yourself down as you do things.
You go to school, you're just constantly tipping forward.
Coloring, and you're just going into.
Your head is just on the table. Mark, what are you doing? I got tired of holding my head up, so I'm just coloring.
My forehead.
I'm coloring down here. Yeah. A lot of real estate on that beach.
Yeah. So how do you feel about your forehead now? You said you're okay with it.
It's proportionate now. It's a nice. I have a square head and square face, so it works out quite well for me. So I like it now, but I know that when I was a kid, I was like, I hate this. It's so stupid.
For sure.
I would pull my hair down for real, like
Word.
not hard, but just I'd be like, oh, just make it smaller. Yeah.
Comb it every day, just down. People get insecure about certain things, like their lips and their eyes and their cheeks, and they get it fixed. Not fixed, but like I don't know what the word is. Modified.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you can fix it. Can you fix it?
If you see it as a problem, you can fix it.
I think you would fix it mentally within yourself, but I don't know if it's like
well, that's what I'm saying.
physically
you can
fixing it.
physically fix it if you view it as a problem, or you can
but doing the things aren't necessarily fixing.
not the internal issue.
True.
I think we're both saying the same
masks
thing. Yeah.
The internal issue.
Yeah. Another thing that I've been self-conscious about up until I would say the year 2016, so not that long ago, it was 5 years ago, was my nose. I have a bridge nose, if you can see from the camera.
Look this way. Yeah, barely.
Barely, right? But when you're a kid, everything is magnified, right? So basically, instead of having a straight line from, let's say, in between my eyes down to the tip of my nose, there's a bit of a bump. And it's not very pronounced. There's many people that I know personally that have bigger bridges than I do, but I never liked it. I didn't think it looked aesthetic. Well, okay, when I was younger, the word was, I think it looks ugly. It's not symmetrical. It's not uniform. It looks like a deformity. It's a bump. And then the way I got over it actually was through modeling, which is funny because in modeling, typically that's where the insecurities come out and that's where they develop because of the industry, because of what your coaches and agents will tell you.
But hasn't modeling changed over the years where it's more accepting of everyone's shapes and sizes and everything?
It's acceptive of more people, but even so, the people on an individual basis still get criticism.
True.
You need to do this. Like you would for example, you have an agent tell a girl, you need to be skinnier. You're a size 34, you need to be a 32. I don't even know what size that is, but they would just say things like that because they need it. They need the money. And when your money and your value is based on your physical appearance, subconsciously
It's a lot of weight.
It does. It begins to develop. You either have to be really dumb to be a model or really smart. Dumb as in, oh yeah, I'll just do this. Oh yeah, I'll lose some weight, whatever. You don't think about it. Or really smart that okay, this is a job. I need to do this to make money. Or you can draw the line in the sand and say, I'm not going to do that. I'm me. So your agents and your companies that want to cast me, accept me as I am, or I don't want the job.
Cool.
But you don't have to be one or the other. But if you're not, you kind of fall into that trap of insecurities.
Yeah. Damn, that's really
body
cool.
image issues.
I find that on a way lesser scale. I find that similar to where we work now. We both serve at a restaurant, and it's like a higher end restaurant. You got to look good, kind of thing. And in a sense, when my hair's messy, my manager was like, "You got to change your hair. Like, you got to fix this. Like, either cut it or braid it or do something." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And it makes sense. Even my grandma asked me like, "Oh, why do you do that? Why do you change your hair so much?" I'm like, "Because it makes me look better to like make myself feel better at work, or people that look good, kind of thing." Yeah. I looked like a crazy afro head, and they're like, "Why is this crazy afro head serving us?"
Yeah. Like look,
do you
like kept, well
Kept,
well
yeah,
groomed.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
it's different than you're not skinny enough. You need to.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
way lesser
it's
scale. I 100%
yeah.
agree, but I can see how it can get a lot further than that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, I was modeling and I was taking digitals with this photographer named Eva G. Super cool girl. I liked her a lot. And before we started shooting, we met at her apartment, and she has this like mini studio. And she's like, "Oh, you want some tea?" We're talking, we're just hanging out, and somehow it came up about insecurities or body image, and I mentioned how I don't like my nose, and she looks and she goes, "Oh, what do you mean? I love your nose." I was like, "I don't like the bridge. It's this and that. I wish it was more flat or
Let me
straight."
see it again. Okay.
And I was mentioning like what I didn't like about it, and she goes, "I love your nose, and it's beautiful because it's what makes you you."
Damn.
And I literally froze. I was like, "Oh my God, you're right."
It's true.
And in that moment, the flick of a switch, I was like, "You know what? I love my nose now because it's me. It's what makes me me." Like there's people that could look like me or look similar, but no one's gonna be
You.
uniquely me, and this is one of the reasons why. And now I don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, I mean, would I get surgery? No. If I could switch it magically without any money or just snapping fingers, probably yeah. Like
Then you
I
don't
would
look like
to.
you anymore.
Well, I
Then
guess
you're just
I guess
changing-
that's something I'd have to face if I were to do it.
For sure. And that's an interesting topic for people that do modify themselves, where it's like you've now changed what you originally looked like.
Yeah, it's like, are you
Yeah.
happy now?
Some people, I feel like they mostly are, right?
Maybe surface level happy. I don't know about intrinsically, like deep down, because I mean, if someone thinks that they are imperfect or ugly or whatever, and they do something to change it, you could argue that getting over that insecurity is healthier and better for you long term than just covering it up or fixing it or modifying.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends, really. Like, I don't know, some people, at the end of the day, if someone wants to modify their body for whatever reason,
For
like,
sure.
cool, yeah, do your thing.
It. Yeah. I'm curious
Yeah.
to like the idea and the thought behind it, because I personally wouldn't see myself modifying anything. Also because of the money reason. I would not be one
Money's
like
huge too, and
Yeah, that's
scary,
probably-
surgeries are scary, man.
true that.
I don't want to look in the mirror and be like, oh, who is that? And I think that happens.
But how about things like one of my good buddies, James, just got LASIK eye surgery.
Oh, no way.
So it's like that's like a body modification.
Well, I mean, that's like similar to getting a prosthetic arm. It's not so much physically for the appearance; it's more physically for the function.
Oh, good
So
point.
I guess that could be different, right?
Mhm.
Because I would get LASIK.
But it could be for aesthetic as well. Maybe you don't like wearing glasses and you always have worn contacts your whole life.
Very true.
So it's like
Very
I just
true.
want to get rid of the glasses.
Well, you
Indefinitely.
save money too, buying glasses and contacts like endlessly versus just getting a however much money $1,000 procedure done, and now you just don't need them ever.
Yeah, it's true.
I run into this issue a lot because I play a lot of sports, or I'll go to the beach, and I don't want to wear my contacts because what if I want to nap on the beach and you're not supposed to nap with your contacts in?
Really? Oh, because they can
Yeah.
get.
That, or it's not good for your eyes. It like dries them out or suction cups too hard. But I would go to the beach with my sunglasses with contacts in, and then I'd be able to see with sunglasses, or I'd have to put on my glasses so I can nap, but now I can only use sunglasses or glasses one at a time. So it's very annoying.
Talk to James about the LASIK. Maybe it's up your alley.
Well, my sister got LASIK.
She
She's
did?
happy with it, so I'll just talk to her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that. All right. Wow, that was interesting. Where are we going with that?
More insecurities. I have 3 more. 1 silly, 2 more serious ones.
Okay. Wait, there's more I was gonna say with the nose bridge thing. Well, I was gonna say this, like, I have a friend that, like, recently was talking to them about it. It was one of my friends that are girls, and it was like her makeup was blotchy to her, and it was like, she's like, "Oh, is my makeup blotchy?" And I was like, "No, it's not at all." She's like, "Oh, but it is." I'm like, "But it's not." It's like those are the things that you see, only you see, you know?
Right, yeah.
Where it's like she's like, "Oh, this is blotchy." You're like, "I have this pimple," and it's like, you can barely see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
interesting.
that's like a self-imposed, I guess, misery or torture. Like everything that if I had a
sure.
pimple, and it's super small, hardly noticeable, I'm gonna see it forever in every reflection. No one else is gonna see it.
Because you see yourself so much and so often every day, you know every single nook and cranny of your face, your hands. So if something's different, you really notice it.
Yeah.
But in reality, people don't notice it. I remember when I was younger and had like acne, I'd always be like so self-conscious about my acne.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
It's like, if I see people with acne now, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like it does not matter at all.
Yeah.
It's like I went through the same thing. I feel you. Like, but I also don't care enough to pay attention to it. I got my
I
own
could
shit
be like,
to
I'm
deal
like,
with.
what is that on your
What
face?
the fuck is that on your face right now?
No, it's never like that. So people, even I'm guilty of it once in a while too, where it's like, oh, I feel this thing on my face, or like I've seen it and I know that people look at me and it's like can't
Dude,
shield myself
same,
from
Same. We're talking about insecurities now and how we're dealing with them and have gotten over them. I still deal with insecurities on the daily, to a way lesser extent.
Yeah.
And my mindset around it and my view of insecurities in general and of myself is so different. But I was doing my hair the other day and the power went out, so my hair dryer went off, and I usually fluff it up and make it look nice and less like wet looking. And it went off, and I was like, fuck. And then I had to go to work with my hair looking kind of wet. I was like, I don't like this. But no one gave a shit. Just me.
Yeah, because no one even noticed that your hair's wet or not.
No one
a little bit more wet
all.
or not. Yeah.
No one noticed at all. And
It's crazy.
we'll get to this later. The solutions. But
Okay, another thing I was going to say is, actually last night, talking about skin, this is so random, but I made a matcha aloe vera face mask.
nice.
It's kind of sick.
Did you eat it after?
No, it didn't taste good. It was
Oh.
like really strong matcha. So I put matcha and then I cut up some aloe vera from upstairs and then gutted it and chopped it up and then put a little water and it was actually pretty good.
Nice.
My skin felt good.
I want to do face masks.
Okay.
I like skincare a lot.
Okay, I'll make you one. Little vial of aloe vera matcha face mask.
Thanks.
Okay. What's up?
Are we just gonna dig into mine? Do you?
Well, if you have your list, and then we can go into mine as we go.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So another silly one was my straight hair.
Why are these silly to you?
They're silly in the sense that looking at them from a surface, they're very surface level. Just, and I only say this because it's me talking about my own insecurities. If it was someone else's, I'd be like, dude, I get it, I understand.
But would
For
you
me-
think that they were silly on someone else? So if I said this insecurity that you just told me,
I guess to an extent, yeah.
if I was like,
They're
my curly hair is my insecurity, and you'd be like, is that silly to you?
silly in the sense that they don't come from a place of psychological distress or unhappiness or ugliness. It's just, oh, I wish it was different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like you'll see why when I get to my two serious ones. But hair is silly because, or hair is one of my insecurities because it's just super straight. When I don't do my hair, I have a bowl cut because it just falls straight down.
Oh yeah, true.
It has
Yeah,
no
I've seen that.
texture.
It's
It's
not like
flat. It looks like baby chicken hair. It's like super soft. So I never like that because I see people like you have texture to your hair. I have friends that have wavy hair, curly hair, whatever. I'm like, damn, that's cool. Like you could do so much with it. There's so much character to it. And when I look at mine, I see a deflated balloon, a stack of hay, just baby chicken.
But
hair.
like, yo, you gotta
like
understand that people always want what they can't have. Where I've seen it specifically with my
Yeah.
sister alone. She has really curly hair. And I remember
Yeah.
like her whole young adult life was like, not young adult, her whole like childhood, adolescence was morphing her hair to make it straight because she wanted straight hair. And then like, but in reality is like, also all these other people want curly hair. It's just like a weird concept of you want what you can't have. So for you, like some people would want your hair because like if it's like too curly or too like crazy, they'd be like, oh, your straight hair is good because it's less maintenance or it's
Yeah, exactly. There's like zero maintenance.
whereas like curly head is so much maintenance.
It's zero maintenance in the sense that if I didn't care what it looked like, I would just leave it, and there's no mess, there's no knots or anything. It's just straight and flat.
For sure.
And but I'm sure that people with curly hair, maybe yourself or others, would say, dude, when in the summertime my hair gets so hot because it just traps all this hair. And I would say, well, I don't have that problem because
Yeah.
my hair, the heat just goes right out of my hair. It's just flat and straight.
So I can see why that one's like a silly concept.
Yeah, and you know what? This actually leads into the hair on the sides of my head. Because my hair is straight, it doesn't fall down. It sticks straight out like
On the sides.
yeah, and it would
Only
make,
when it's short though. When it's longer, it'll drop.
but it has to get quite long
Yeah,
before
for
it
sure.
does that, right? Like it doesn't tuck behind my ears naturally. It just sticks out. So my head would look wide, and I already had a big head insecurity. I guess that's another insecurity: big forehead, big head. I didn't want my head to look any wider because it was already so fucking big. So I would always shave it down. Even now, my head is always shaved down the side. I just cut my hair yesterday, but
But you're wearing a hat after you cut your hair. You should flex that
yeah,
hair.
because I want to flex the hat.
Oh fuck, that's a sick hat.
Yeah, so my brother made this hat.
Yo, that's actually sick. What the
Okay,
hell?
so
I didn't
this
realize
hat-
this.
This hat is from a brand called Glory Allan. Allan with two A's, Allan. There's a horse jockey and a Jamaican and a Chinese flag. And that's to, I guess, commemorate or celebrate Chinese Jamaicans,
Can I touch it?
of which I am. Yeah, go ahead. It's a trucker hat.
That's sick.
The idea is that we wanted a hat, not we, but the brand wanted a hat that had more airflow. So it's nice because you could work out in it, you could do whatever. It's just not as,
sick,
it's
it's sick
different,
hat.
you know, like trucker hats.
Have you worn that before?
I got it recently.
Have you worn it before around me?
Not around you.
I feel like I've seen it because it just looks
I
natural.
sent the group chat a picture.
I didn't read the group chat.
Yeah, of course you don't.
I've been busy, bro. No time to read no group chat. Okay, so we're talking about now. What's your big big two.
Okay, so the big two insecurities, one of them was my muscles in relation to my modeling career. So prior to starting modeling, I was a cheerleader. I basically did powerlifting. I was like, yeah, let's get big and strong. And I love the idea of being strong and being capable and being powerful, especially for my sport, cheerleading. So in third and fourth year, I became my biggest and strongest. And in third year is when I also began modeling. And there were times when, whether it was a shoot, like a clothes set shoot, or I was on the runway and I was literally just too big for the clothes. And I was like, shit.
Oh, really?
Like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, I want to be a model. At the time I did. I was like, I want to be a model. I want to run. I want to walk the runway. But like, I would wear these pants on the runway and they were saran wrapped, suction cup to my quads. There's one of my Facebook profile pictures. You can see, if you know, you wouldn't notice it, but if you look at my legs, it's like tight around my
So how is this an insecurity?
Because it made me, that whole experience of basically thinking to myself, oh, I'm too big for modeling. I'm too many muscles for modeling. I don't mean that in like a silly way. Like, I mean, seriously, like because modeling isn't for, at least high fashion modeling is not for bigger people. They're generally for slender, tall, slim people. And I was tall enough, but I was just too wide, too stocky.
But you didn't want to sacrifice the working out aesthetic and like the way you feel when you do the working out versus the modeling, right?
Well, that's a conflict that I ran into because at the time I really wanted to do modeling. I wanted to take it further, but I also loved the idea of performance and the muscles and the strength. And I began to dislike the muscles that I had built up and the power and the strength that I had built over the many years. And I was in love with the sport and the sport of lifting. Mm-hmm. And then through modeling, I reached this point where I was like, you know what, like I don't like this anymore. Like I don't like me. I don't like myself because I don't get to fit the role of a model. I eventually got over it and I figured out that, you know, I value sports, lifting and cheerleading over modeling. And then I stopped caring. I said, you know what, I'm going to be as big as I want to be. They don't have to cast me for everything. That's fine. I'll cast for what I get casted for.
And like just work your life around that kind of thing.
Exactly. Like just what's my personal brand of appearance and strength and healthiness. And what does that look like? And do I need to be a high fashion model? Do I want to be? And I was just facing all these questions.
So this is an insecurity that you've seemed to have battled already.
It's not all of these I've battled already. Maybe except for the last one.
Do you have any active ones?
I mean, besides just like the random pimple or just if I'm not feeling good about myself for whatever reason, sure, those are like little small bumps in the road day to day. But the last one that I wrote down was being Asian.
Is an insecurity.
Was less so now, a lot less so now, but it was. So I grew up in Uxbridge, which is a like 99.9% white town. There was like 2 black families and 3 Asian families, one of them being us. So I was always around generally white folk, which is cool. And then I moved to Mississauga and Markham, and there was it was a culture shock. I was like, oh my God, there's so many Asians here. Like, I'm not the only one anymore. Mm-hmm. But I could just see the differences in how particularly white kids would speak to, or the jokes that they would make, or the cultural references. And we're all kids. Like, we don't know what we're saying.
About other cultures?
Well, specifically about Asian culture. Mm-hmm. Because when you're the only one, it's like, oh yeah, Mark, that's the Asian guy, or whatever. Just little things like that where you pick up on them as a kid and you don't know why you pick up on them. You're like, I don't know why the way that Harry said, oh yeah, Mark's the Asian guy, he's so Asian, this and that, or ching chong, whatever. You don't really know.
That one's a little racist, the last one.
Well, the ching chong I just added in, but like, if there's something like, yeah, he's Asian. But he's so good at math. Of course you're good at math, you're Asian. It's like, when you're a kid, it's like, I don't know why that bothers me, but it does.
How about like my friend Marc's gonna come along, the Asian one?
I don't particularly like that. It's I'd rather someone not say it, but I'm also not offended. It's like, well, you're not wrong, but like, I don't say, yo, Mitch is coming, he's my white friend. And so you just say, Mitch is coming, he's my friend. That's, anyway.
But how about if you were with a group of like another culture, so you're hanging with a bunch of Asian guys, and then you're like, oh, Mitch is coming, the white guy.
I probably wouldn't say that. Because, well, it's different when you grow up around like predominantly white people, mm-hmm. and you are one of the few Asians. So anything that has to do with being Asian, you're getting pointed at, or like you're getting called out for, not in a bad way, but just acknowledging, yeah, that's the Asian guy, whatever. And just like through, I guess you could say, at the time, it wasn't social media, it was just general media. Yeah. Asians weren't popular or like beautiful in that sense. They weren't strong. It was painted a very different picture of like nerdy,
When we
weak,
were growing up.
small in
That's so
in
interesting.
popular culture, right? Like you would, if you're an Asian guy on the television screen, you're probably a nerd, or kung fu, right? So there was,
But like for me, I wouldn't even acknowledge that because I guess it's different for you where you are of Asian and you see that and like that's how they depict us kind of thing, you know?
yeah,
For
yeah.
me, it's like never even noticed that.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, we have a friend who is Asian, and he's dating a white girl, and him and I, we're just talking, we were explaining white privilege, and she had no idea what we're talking about.
Crazy.
And we're like, yeah, like it's you wouldn't know because it's not something you
Have experienced on
express
the opposite
or
side.
that you just experience it unknowingly. And then she felt bad after. She's like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm like, don't feel bad, but like just know that this is the thing and that Asians do not get the same privileges as others, as well as other races in general. It's not just
You're
an
just
Asian
speaking
thing.
of a first.
Yeah,
first
it was just
person.
like, hey, this is the thing. And then now she's like, I never realized
Cool.
that was a thing.
That's good though because now she's understood.
Yeah, she can
and like
pass along the
woke up
good
kind of
word.
thing. Yeah.
But anyways, all to say, all these different experiences of my friends and peers talking to me a certain way or mentioning certain things about me being Asian, and then looking at popular media or culture and them depicting Asians a certain way, kung fu, nerd, weak, small, whatever, or weird, right? We have like the weird dishes and shit. Some of them are weird, but at the same time, every culture has different weird foods. They're all great.
It's like interesting that those are things that are made fun of. But now, like,
I mean,
Kung
you would
Fu
see that.
sick.
You would see that in other cultures too. Like, say you grew up in like Africa or Nigeria or something, right? Like, and there's one white kid. I'm sure that white kid would feel how I
Yeah.
have felt. And I had a very soft exposure to. I wouldn't say racism,
sure.
but
It's
just
like
like
a
being distinguished.
Canadian.
Yeah, right. Like, sure, people called me out for being Asian, and like there was a few slurs here and there. And obviously, as kids, I don't blame these people. They don't know what they're saying. But it also, I wasn't like bullied crazily or anything. It was just pointed out, and I was like, oh, I don't know why I don't like the way that they said that.
Mhm.
But anyways, all these different experiences at some point in my life have led me to feel like I don't want to be Asian anymore.
Before.
Now I like it. Now I'm just
Because-
me.
but-
I don't even think of myself as Asian half the time. I'm just me.
If there was bullying, I would understand why you wouldn't want to be.
I've never been bullied for being Asian.
So what's the reason that makes you have the thought that I don't want to be Asian?
Because all these different images and thoughts that you see online and on TV, like I would see an Asian nerd, for example, on TV who's weak, and I would think to myself, I'm not that person.
True.
I'm
okay,
not weak.
fair.
I'm smart, yeah, but I'm not a nerd, right? Like I don't. Why are they depicting us this way?
For sure. Well, like white people have every kind of characteristic.
Yeah, or like
for
they're
sure.
the big strong, they're the hero.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I would just say to myself, I don't want to be Asian anymore. I want to be like the hero. I want to be the strong guy. And yet here we are just being depicted as losers. So,
But not anymore.
yeah, a lot less so now with
A lot
like
less.
crazy
It
rich
still
Asians
is definitely.
and Shang-Chi
It's,
and all
yeah,
this
it's
stuff.
still definitely. Oh my gosh, sorry.
But
I finick with this mic too much.
yeah, you do.
It's so not where I want it to be, but it's fine. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyways,
Invincible.
Invincible's super
Hell
sick.
yeah.
The main character from Invincible, the Amazon Prime
half-
TV show. He's
he's
half Asian.
half Asian,
He's
half-
half Asian. Half Viltrumite.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good memory.
But I mean, it's less so now, and I think that I carry myself in a certain way that I can see past and get past and be proud of who I am now.
Do you think this is based off of the fact that Asian cultures and just more cultures in general from different places are more exposed? Like more common now. Like everyone likes anime now. Everyone likes
Yeah,
like
exposure's
more Asian
huge.
foods. More.
Yeah, exposure's huge.
Do
Also,
you think that would lessen the impact of I don't want to be Asian kind of thing?
yes, and you know what too? When I moved to Markham and then Mississauga and being exposed to like, holy shit, this high school has like 500 Asians. I'm now not one of like 7.
Yeah.
It's normal now that I can see other Asians eating like dim sum at lunch or something. I'd be like, I know exactly what that is. I used to be the only one who used to eat that. I know that now we have this in common. I feel better about myself.
Power in numbers.
Power and numbers, yeah, but it's easier now, having gone through those struggles, and I would say coming out on the better side, stronger, more proud of myself, happier. But that's not the case for everyone. You know, some people will come out worse, so they have a vengeful vendetta against other races. I think my life has been quite good up until this point, and I've been
Up until
able
this point,
to,
what's up with this point?
sorry,
This is the turning point
this
right
is
now.
the-
This conversation
right now, yeah. But I feel good now, but that was definitely a big one that I didn't always know explicitly was something that I didn't like about myself.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So now how do you feel?
I feel good. But again, like, so my family is Chinese Jamaican. Visually, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an Asian guy. But in my own head, I'm more culturally Jamaican than I am Chinese. And even then, it's like I'm so westernized too, because I grew up in Uxbridge, White Town, then got exposed to more Asians in Markham and Mississauga.
Now in Toronto, where it's like cultures just everywhere.
Yeah, cultures everywhere. So now it's like, cool, I'm so accepting of my own as well as everyone else's, because everyone has their own culture.
You still celebrate your own culture though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I look at myself in the mirror, I just see me. I don't
Before
really
you used to see an Asian guy.
Before I would see a little more Asian, like, oh, Asian guy, Asian male, whatever.
Really?
A little bit, not really, but it's less so now that I'm just being me, whatever that looks like.
Sick. That's really
But
cool.
when people want to label me as Asian, sure, I am. So like whatever, that's fine.
But that's not only who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good way.
Dude, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's very different for everything else. I feel like when I would look in the mirror when I was younger, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm a white guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you would, when you were younger, you'd have that feeling.
Well, I had a very stark contrast.
What?
Stark contrast, like,
stark?
Because I grew up in a white town. It's like, why does everyone have blonde hair and brunette hair and fair skin? Like, I don't have that. Do I look weird? Do I stand out? Like, am I a sore thumb? Like, that's kind of what I had.
And then you're looking at everyone around you, and then you come home at the end of the day and you look in the mirror and you're like, this is
like, I'm not,
why I'm different, kind of thing.
Yeah. Who's that girl staring back at me? When will my reflection show that I'm white? No, I don't know. But you know what, though? I've come to find out, and not that I ever doubted it, but some of my close friends that are Asian have felt similarly. Like,
I'm sure most have, for sure. It's like it's like a struggle, an internal struggle that isn't commonly expressed because it is an internal struggle. And maybe when you're younger as well, you're like, I'm feeling this way.
Yeah,
I don't want to express how I feel.
You don't know how to verbalize it too. You don't have
the
the world experience to understand what racism is. What
for sure. You're just like, this is happening. I don't know what's going on. I can't talk to anybody about it.
You just like feel it. You're like, why do I feel angry? For whatever reason.
Damn. Well, I'm glad you're okay now.
Thanks.
Up until this point.
Up until now. Now it's
when you understand that you have powers and you're a superhero and you can whoop everyone's ass like Invincible. Damn, that's a good show. I like that show a lot. Okay, so some of my insecurities is number one would be that I talk so fucking fast. You just fly through. Even when I was camping, one guy was like, I don't know what you're saying most of the time. And I was like, see, he's a guy that's just like brutally honest, and he just like doesn't care. Even when he met some of the other people, he was just like making a joke that like might not hit if you just met somebody, but he would take it anyways, take the risk, because like that's who he is. He just takes the risk, and like they hit or they don't, it doesn't matter. But he's just like, I don't know what you're saying. Like looked at me, and I was like, okay.
No, you were like, okay.
I don't know what you're saying. But yeah, so that's probably definitely my biggest insecurity. And like, there's been times where I work on it a lot more than I do. Like at this point, maybe 6 months ago to a year, I was like more focused on speaking slowly. But now it's like getting faster because I don't know why. It just like is up and down. It's just like sometimes I just want to say it and get it out. Or like when I'm tired and I'm lazy, I like want to say it faster so I don't have to speak as much. I don't know what it is. Like, that's what I think it is most recently. But yeah, he was like, I don't know what you're saying. And then sometimes he's like, I don't even know if sometimes those are real words. But sometimes they're not, because I'm calling like a burger a burger. He's like,
you do that?
Well, we're just like we're drinking and having fun. And I was like, started speaking gibberish for no reason.
For fun, yeah.
I was like, who wants burgers? And he's like, you speak fast and I don't know what that is. And I'm like, okay. But it's an insecurity, but I know it's kind of who I am. So I don't go home and be like, fuck, I'm so fast again. Like, speaking like the Flash, but it's like, I should still work on that.
If you want to.
I do want to, because I don't want to have to. I speak fast, and sometimes my reasoning is because I want to get it out faster, because I'm like lazy. But then when someone says, what'd you say? And it's like, I have to say it again. Yeah. So it's like, what's the point of me having to say it twice when I can just like slow down the first time and like not mumble and enunciate my words, and then it comes out easier, you know? So that's one of the biggest. Then my sister has that issue too. She speaks very fast. Not as much anymore, because she's like in Portugal and time is just slowly goes. For me, it's like more fast paced. I don't know. There's been moments where I wanted to go speech therapy, and moments where I just like wouldn't speak up in a large crowd of people, because people would be like, why is that guy speaking so fast? or like when I'm with my friends and there's like new people around, like I wouldn't openly speak to this friend like the most as I would, because people are gonna be like, what language is that? And I'm like, it's English, man, just really fast. But now I'm at the point where even when I serve and I speak fast, I just don't care. Like they say what, or you speak fast, I'm like, okay, I'll slow it down. But yes, I do speak fast, you're right. Like that's just what it is. So yeah, that's mostly where it's been going. Where it's like people are like, oh, you speak fast. I'm like, yep, I do. I'm sorry. Like I don't really say I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm either working on it or like keep up, you know? People that are in my life more frequently, like a lot of my friends and family, they understand because they're around it so often. But there's a moment where when I was hanging out with Guido, I was hanging out with him as I did often, like every fucking day. And then like when I went to Toronto and he'd stay in Saga, we wouldn't hang out much. And then when we got back to hanging out again, he's like, wow, I starting to like have to work on understanding you again, because especially when we're just hanging out and shooting the shit and I'm not like publicly speaking, or I'm not actively trying to speak slower. It's like just hanging out, I'm just going fast. And he's just like, whoa. He speaks a lot slower, so it's like a real clash. Yeah. So that's definitely my biggest insecurity. So the way I beat that is either just accept it, or when I understand that it is affecting me in my mood, then I'll just work on actively slowing it down. Yeah. That's a silly one?
Well, see, when I talk about other people's, I don't think any of them are silly, because I get where they could come from. But if you want to label it as silly, sure.
No, I don't label it as silly.
Okay, then it's not silly.
It's silly.
It's silly.
How do you feel about me speaking fast and that being an insecurity?
Well, as pretty much everyone does, when we hear other people's insecurities, we're like, why? That makes zero sense. Like, no, that's not something to be insecure about. But I get it. Like, everyone has their different battles. But I feel like this insecurity is different than those ones where it's like, but maybe that's because it's still coming from me. Well, I guess mine are more physical, right?
Yeah, mine is more.
So is that what you're saying? Like, how do I feel about yours being not physical?
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is that you can work on it. You just have to try. Mm-hmm. I guess the only bad thing would be is, do you feel like you're not yourself when you speak slower?
No, I just feel probably better when I speak slower.
Nice. So then
I just like don't do it though.
Yeah. So well, then that's just your personal choice. And if people can't understand you, then hopefully they'll say, "Hey, dude, I can't understand you." You just say, "Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, I speak a little fast. I'll try to slow down." But you're just being you.
Yeah. I feel like from it coming from me and me expressing that as an insecurity, and you saying, "Oh, it's not really that much of an insecurity," or like kind of thing, but it's like for me, it's like that whole big world, that whole big piece in my world where it's like that is something that is there.
Well, that's why I'm saying, if you think it's small and silly, then yeah, sure, it's small and silly. But if you think it's big, then it doesn't matter what I think. Yes, it is big to you, and that's all that matters.
Fair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that it is small in a sense, but at the end of the day, like, it's something I can change. So to make the change for the better of everybody, has to become big.
Sure.
What the hell?
Well, you could argue that about anyone's insecurities.
It's true.
If I was thought about being scrawny was insecurity, just work out. It's like, okay, cool, fight for what you want. My forehead, get that surgery, or pull my forehead down till it's small again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. There's definitely some insecurities. I remember I used to think my nose was way too big, but now it's like it is big, but I don't really care. That's just my nose, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not one to be like, oh, I need to change this and fix that. It's just how it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like my nose is big.
Yeah.
So is my mom's.
Insecurity
so
nose.
So is my dad's. So is my grandma's. You know,
we both have had nose insecurities.
And there's some insecurities. Do you ever have insecurities where it's like you see it in your parents and you're like, whoa, I don't want that to be me?
That's a little deep. Yeah. Okay. So sure. Sometimes my parents can be, not over dramatic. That's not the word I'm looking for. But just let's just say temper is one thing. I've seen it and I don't like it. So I try to be calm all the time. And I think I do a good job of that. I don't know if that's me just being a calm person or me compensating for the fact that this is something I don't want to do or repeat or recreate.
For sure.
From what I've seen in my parents.
Did we have this talk on this yet about that?
Similar talk. Yeah.
About like not wanting to repeat. There's like a difference between
Yeah.
seeing something in your parents that you don't want to be present in your life, or like not even knowing it, and it's still present
And
in
then
your
it
life.
comes up. Yeah. So there's like the temper thing. And my parents aren't angry. They're very happy people. But like,
his parents are so nice.
the odd chance that like something
It happens. Everyone gets a little upset once in a
Yeah.
while.
I guess it affected me a lot, enough for me to consciously think about it.
There's moments where even my father, when he's doing something and something doesn't go the right way, like you said, he just like loses his temper really quickly.
Yeah.
So it's like me actively, when something doesn't go the right way, I like stop, breathe, understand, and then plan. You know,
Yeah.
like figure out what's next.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to lash out, because what does that do for me? I don't need to break anything, because what does that do for me? You know, like, yeah. What do you think?
Of your situation?
Anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's like little things that, I guess if we're talking about parents specifically, you'll see things, and I guess you think to yourself, I don't want to do this to my kids or to my partner, because you are your parents' kids and your parents are partners with each other. So I guess it relates in that way. Because when you're a kid or when you're an adult and your parents show a side of themselves you're not used to seeing, it can really mess you up.
So are they wrong for showing that side? Because
No.
intrinsically you think that they are doing this and I will never do this to the person I love or to my children. So it's like, are they wrong for have done it initially?
No.
Why do you think not?
I don't think anyone's wrong for doing anything with malicious. Sorry. Without malicious intent. Because people can have tempers. People have emotions. That makes sense. I get it. I think it's what you do with those emotions and the repercussions of those emotions, and how much can you control yourself and be like, you know what, even after the fact, hey, I'm sorry that I blew up at you. I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to work on this. Like, I just got really heated in the moment. Can you forgive me? That's different than like just blowing off your temper every week for something, right? So it's different with every person, every situation.
And at the same time, one thing starting to understand with my parents as I get older is like, they're also just humans. They're also just people.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
you know, I've been noticing something similar with couples. You go first.
Okay, so it's like with parents. I remember when I was younger, it was like, this person is the light of my life because I don't know much, and they're an older adult that talks to me, listens to me, and like is involved in my life. But as I've grown older, I've understood that like they're also humans, and they do make the wrong mistakes too sometimes. And like, I'm not gonna get mad at them for making wrong mistakes. But it's like, when I was younger, if they made a mistake, I'd be like, okay, that's okay because they're my parents. Or like, not even understanding it's a mistake. But now that I'm older, it's like, whoa, Dad, like, no, that's not how should be done. And I understand that you're an adult, and I'm not going to get mad at you for that. Or like, things that I've heard about in their past, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know that, but I understand now that you had your own life before me, and you still have your own life now. There's so much going on. It's like, yes, you're such an important person in my life, but at the same time, like, you're your own human, and you make your own mistakes, and you learn your own ways, and you take your own paths, you know? What are you going to say about couples?
I was going to say that similar to seeing and accepting that your parents make mistakes too, lately I've been exposed to the idea of couples, other couples, making mistakes, not having perfect relationships.
Yeah,
and it's cool. It's cool. I guess it's also kind of unfortunate that every couple has fights, but that's normal and natural, right? And I'm beginning to see that every single couple that I come across, whether I know them well or not, they all go through very similar problems as every other couple.
Sonder. So Sonder?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. Even over the weekend, I remember there was like a couple there that was kind of arguing. Well, like, the guy was being stubborn, and the girl was like, stop being so stubborn. But I was like, oh dang, I don't want to be that stubborn ever, you know? It's like, kind of, you see it in someone else's relationship, and you realize that like, oh, their relationship is way different than any relationship that I've had. But it might be working for sure, but that's not something I want to bring in. Like, I wouldn't want to bring in stubbornness to my relationship, you know?
Yeah, if you can reflect on it and learn from others, that's great. I also think that understanding that every couple goes through a crazy wide range of different problems, some of which you've had similar experiences, some of which you haven't.
Never have.
It also makes it easier to accept your own issues that you have to deal with in your own relationships. It's like, you know what? Sure, I fight with my partner, but if we can come out of this better and stronger and we can communicate effectively, then that's okay, because people fight, and that's normal and natural.
I think that you can relate that to any situation, not just a couple, any person in life. Just the idea of Sonder is such a strengthening moment, because then you realize like everyone's got something going on.
We're not alone.
What was it you saying? There's like a saying that if everyone's problems were in a bowl, you'd go for your own problems.
Something like,
I don't remember if that's the exact same.
if we could switch something like that, where
if everyone's problems were in a bowl and you had to pick one, you'd go for your own.
You'd go for your own, because you don't want anyone else's problems. You want, that's
because you can handle and you can survive and float in these problems that you have in your life. But the moment you start realizing that everyone's got these problems, and that's why another thing is like, I'm not gonna be mad at strangers, or unless they like really do something wrong. But it's like, if they might just be having a bad day, you know, like someone's honking me on the street, like, dude, okay. You don't have to do that, but okay. You don't have to just give him one of these, a little middle
just a little. What was that? Nothing.
Don't get mad at strangers, just as you're driving by. But yeah, it's often like that too, or like the cashier's rude. I'm like, okay, I didn't do anything to make you mad. Like, I'm just here, I'm getting groceries, and you're just like somehow angry.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't care. I'm gonna let you have the space. Like, just don't talk.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it.
I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to be like, oh, it's okay. Like,
no, but you accept. You're like, you know what? You're probably having a bad day. That's fine. I'm not gonna get in your face about anything. Like, I'm sure you're not that nice to me, and you should be. But like,
hopefully you're not this mean to everybody.
Hopefully your day turns around for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's just like, because maybe I'm having a bad day too. I'm just like, like, move, you slow walker. Behind the slow walker, just why so slow?
I always with my friends, I'll do like a kind of thing. I think it's so funny. You ever see that kid in like grade 1, and he's like picking on Johnny or coloring outside the lines, and the teacher comes over and is like, Johnny, stop coloring outside the lines, like, behave. And he goes,
no, is it a commercial or some shit? What is it?
No, I think those kids just exist. I think that's
wait.
I think that's so funny that I always do it to my friends when like Marc, can you pass me that bowl of chips? I'd be like,
even
just as a joke. It's
even
funny.
in like our first podcast, there's something going on, and we said something, and you just like made some like weird sound, like when I said something.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe you should buy a hard drive, and you're like, yeah, that one.
Yeah,
so silly. Back on insecurities. So I think there comes a point where you start to understand them, and it's also such a good feeling watching someone else battle their insecurities and like be triumphant on them, you know, where it's I've had friends where I can see them talk about this one insecurity that they always have over and over and over again. It's like, and there's a point where now they're older, and it's like I don't see them talking about it. It's like either they've changed it, or they just like is not an insecurity anymore, and they're just confident with it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's similar to, it's not the peak of the mountain, it's the journey, right?
For sure.
It's almost that the act of you putting in time and energy to deal with, accept, get over these insecurities or issues that you have is what's going to get you to the top of the mountain. The prize isn't being there, it's fighting the good fight to get there. That'll give you all the good virtues to get you to the top of the mountain.
And it's like being optimistic, where it's like when you see those things come up and you want to change them, you're just like positively reinforcing it into your mind that this needs to happen. And then it'll happen, you know, like you'll be able to beat that insecurity.
Yeah. I very much believe that. I know you do too, but it's not a belief that's common with everyone. A lot of people don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in mentally conditioning yourself to be a certain way. They just say it's a hopelessness. They're like, you know what, this is how it is, I'm just gonna be forever a loser, or this and that. And I think that's silly, because I was raised to think of myself highly, and to be like, you know what, you have to tell yourself that you're great in order to be great.
Yeah, and you want everyone, all your friends and everyone around you to succeed.
Yeah.
Like, be your best full self you can be.
Why not? You should do that.
Why not? Yeah.
Everyone
but some
should
people don't
do
see that. And that's why I think this podcast is interesting, because we do have polarizing opinions sometimes, but often we have the same opinion like this right now. But it's like hard because there's no conflicting view on it unless someone plays devil advocate.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's interesting. I'm just excited to see where that goes.
Me too. Yeah. I'm really excited to do this podcast. I fucking was waiting for you for freaking 2 weeks. I was like, I want to film.
Like, nice. But yeah, so it's tough to see people battling insecurities and not being able to beat them, and like you see someone like being timid or shy, or
it sucks. You wanna help them, but it's like, me helping you is actually not helping you. You need to do this all on your own, otherwise you're not gonna get truly over it.
I want you to be better so bad.
Yeah, I want you to just be happy with yourself. Like, I love you as you are. Like, just be okay. Like, your pimples don't matter. Your big forehead doesn't matter. Like, I love all of it anyways. But that's almost, in a sense, not for you to say. It's like, it doesn't matter. It matters to them, so it's gonna matter to them. And you want to help them, but you can't.
I think the only thing you can do is like point out something nice about them. You know?
Yeah.
Like at the camping the other day, there was like just this guy was just like so soft spoken and gentle. Every time he spoke, I was like, nice. Like I like it. Like you're so soft. And I said it. I was like, dude, like you're really soft spoken. He's like, oh, is that a bad thing? I'm like, no, dude, it's like a really good thing.
Very pleasant.
Very pleasant. It's like I don't need to like, you're not like coming off like, whoa. You're just like, you're coming off, and I'm like, what are you saying? Like I want to listen to you more.
Yeah.
So I told him that, and he's like, oh, like thank you. I didn't see that ever as like as a thing that would be important, but I was like, no, it's dope.
Yeah.
And it's like good. Like when I see something I value, I don't want to say it like that. When I see something that makes me happy with someone being comfortable or like that, I like to point it out.
Me too.
Because you never know if that boost. It's like you saying like, oh, your pimples are fine, your teeth are fine, like whatever. It's like saying that without actually saying it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you have such a nice smile today. Like your smile is so nice, and they're like, oh.
They're like, really? Like I've been so self-conscious. Like, no, you have a great smile. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
because it's the energy that they bring off too. Like especially at work when someone is so like, say I was doing the smiling comment and someone's like so smiling, so happy and bright energy. Like, wow, you have such a nice smile, and they're like thank you. Like you don't know how much that can mean to somebody. When I'm just speaking of energies, I'm just saying you have a nice energy, and and your smile like assists your energy.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was talking to these two girls and I asked them, is it ever okay? Well, I don't know why I said two girls. My sister and Andre's girlfriend. My sister and my brother's girlfriend. I don't know why I opened it up like that.
Important females.
I don't know whose names we should and should not drop. So anyways,
okay.
I was talking to my sister and my brother's girlfriend, and I asked them, is it ever okay to compliment a girl? And they were like, ugh.
Like compliment how?
Physically. Well, I just said compliment, but they're like
physically, like physique, or like on.
I just said compliment, and they said you probably shouldn't say physically, because if I were to say to a girl, you look amazing, like you've been working out, you look so good, you look so healthy, they could say, oh thanks, like I've been working out, but really they could be starving themselves, and now you're just feeding into their, let's call it issue, the problem, right?
Not
so
ego,
they were like,
a word for it.
Partly ego, yeah. But they were saying like you really shouldn't, because you never know what the story is behind it. It could be a bad story that got them to this lean physicality, or like they're really fit. You say, wow, you're so fit. They say thanks, but really they're beating the shit out of themselves, and it's destroying their other areas of their life, and they hate themselves for it. Like you just never know.
Weird complex, because I don't want to not tell people that they're beautiful.
That's what I said
like
too.
That.
And you know what too? So I asked them, I say, well, okay, well, what's okay? And my brother's girlfriend said, if you comment on intrinsic things like your I was gonna say smile, but your energy is so bright, you're so lovely today, and I was like, okay, cool. I've started making that shift, but there were times when like there was this one girl I was serving one time. She had amazing teeth, like amazing. An event, like 20 minutes into service, I was like, she was by herself because her friend went to the washroom. I was like, hey, I just want to say your teeth are so nice. She's like, really? Thanks. So I mean, hopefully that was like a good timing.
She's in the bathroom punching your teeth into the straight formation. He said they're nice.
Yeah, I know, but she had really nice teeth. She's like, thank you. They're actually veneers. They're made of this and that. I was like, oh my god, they suit you so well. Like they look amazing. So I mean,
I think it's the way you come off.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that though.
No, I don't know. I think it's the way you come off of it. I think that because if someone were to say to me, I don't know, it's interesting because maybe
you just never know.
Maybe because I'm okay with my insecurities, where it's like if someone were to compliment me, I'm like, thank you, versus like, I need to keep this up kind of thing, But I don't want to not tell people good things that I find in them, or things that make me happy within themselves.
It's just, where do you draw the line? Because you just, the point is, you never know what got them to that place to be complimented on, and it could be bad. And
I agree, but I agree, and I see what you're saying, but it's not gonna stop me from. To
be honest, I don't think it's gonna stop me either. I enjoy if I think it's appropriate and I think it would help make their day, I would love to tell someone, your smile looks so good, your teeth are so straight, I love your hair, it looks like you put a lot of, well, I change it up though, because and not that this makes it okay, but usually if I were to comment on some girl's makeup or hair, I try to always say, and I believe this, I'm not trying, but I always say, your makeup or your hair looks so good, like you did a really good job on that. I'm not saying you look better without it, I'm saying the way you did it looks really nice, and I appreciate the effort you put into it. Yeah, the skill, the attention to detail. But then maybe that doesn't make it okay anyways, but try to make it better.
There's something that I wanted to compare that to. I don't remember what it was, but I just can't see. It sounds very sensitive to be like, oh, you can't tell a girl or tell anybody that their hair's nice, because that's not the way I want to live life. Like, I find that another thing I do is if someone has like a very distinctively changed feature, like their hair is like purple, I go up and I'm like, yo, I like your hair. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
unique, it's
guess that's a
nice.
little different because I also do a similar thing.
If it,
with,
if it
with,
is
with
nice.
like big, like you're clearly you did this for you or for
to
attention
to stand
or
out.
something. Yeah, it's like I would love to help justify your decision or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
but-
know. I get what your sister and your brother's girlfriend are saying, but I feel like that's if someone was insecure that would hurt them. But if you find someone that is secure, like if I said something to you, if I was like, "Yo, I really like the way you shave your face," then you wouldn't be like, "Gotta shave every day." You'd be like, "Thank you." Like if someone
Yeah.
compliments me, I'm like, "Thank you." If someone's
Well,
like,
you
"Oh, your
never
hair's
know,
nice,"
right?
or
Like,
your
yeah, what if I never told you about me having that insecurity being Asian, and let's say it was still a big deal for me, and you said, "Oh, Mark, you're so Asian," but it's in a good way, and I'd be like, "Thanks." Like I wouldn't know what
but
to say
that's
about that.
that's I think that's different.
But
the whole race thing is different
No, but
than-
the point is that you would never know.
Okay, it was if you did your hair up because you thought it was too flat, and then you put your hair up and you made it nice, and I was like, "Yo, your hair looks really nice today," that wouldn't offend you.
No.
Would that make you think that flat hair is less valuable than this hair now?
Well, it's potentially, but it's just situational, right? Like, you haven't seen a girl in a year. She lost a lot of weight. You look great. Oh, thanks. I've actually been starving myself, and I hate my body, and like I hate that I starve myself.
Maybe the body
But-
figure
but-
is not something you should be commenting on.
Well, that's what they were saying. Physical, no.
But what about physicals like eyes or like nose or teeth? Like, oh, your eyes.
I guess you just got to figure out where to draw the line and know that it could be good, could be great, could also be not good.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
This is a long talk about insecurities and problems.
Yeah, was there more you want to talk about for this one?
No.
Okay.
You want to hear some crazy shit?
Uh,
So remember how we were talking about in the previous episode about self-fulfilling prophecies?
but you switched the word up.
Well, this is real self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh,
So
okay.
a self-fulfilling prophecy is you, for example, you make a statement like, "I'm gonna be a lawyer," and you're foreshadowing, like I'm forecasting this. This is gonna happen. Realistically, it was never gonna happen, but somehow in saying that, it set off a chain of reaction events where it's like, oh shit, I actually became a lawyer, and it was because of you saying that thing.
Mm-hmm.
There is a self-fulfilling prophecy in NHL athletes that basically doesn't base NHL status, like professional hockey player status, on skill. It's actually about their birthday.
How so?
So this is a long drawn out story explanation, so I'm going to try my best to explain it all concisely.
Okay.
There's a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell. It's cool. I just started it. It's nonfiction, and he's basically putting out all these outliers. So him and his wife or girlfriend are scientists, and they studied a bunch of things, and they were at a hockey game, and somehow they came across all the birthdays of all the hockey players, and like 40 or 50% of them were born in between January and March. And that's a lot. That's like, oh shit, why is everyone born earlier in the year? Long story short, there's a cutoff age for certain leagues in hockey, as well as any other sport, right? So let's just say that the cutoff age is December 31st of that year. So the year is 2021. Anyone born from January 1st to December 31st, you're in the league of 2021.
Yeah.
As soon as it goes January 1st, 2022, and anyone to December 31st of 2022, you're in that league. So imagine a child who's born January 1st and a child who's born December 31st.
I've had this
Full
thought before.
300, yeah, full 365 days.
This guy is a
of
lot more
experience.
time. Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
more time. So, in doing that, typically those early birthday athletes develop more and therefore show more promise as athletes when it comes time to who's going to be on the competitive team, who's going to make the draft, right? So, if the kids who are born early in the year show more promise, they get picked for the competitive teams. Competitive teams practice more, they have more games, they get better coaching, better techniques and equipment, which therefore makes them even better players. So now it's almost as if these kids who were born on December 31st and late in the year, they could be just as good as these people, but because they were born earlier and had more time to develop and therefore were better at the time of draft call, they are now
Above.
escape, what's that word, they're boosted ahead when they technically shouldn't have been,
Because of the date they're born. Yeah.
because of the date they're born.
They do that in school too. I remember reading about this before, and it was like kids that are born during that time, they have more time to develop by the time they have to learn that subject. So it's always like when you're younger, when you get older, it changes because like you have had more years of experience. But when it's young, it's like the kids that are born in that time are like the more advanced, elite type kids, especially for sports. Yeah, I'm reading about that too. It's an interesting topic.
And I guess I'll relate it back to self-fulfilling prophecy. So saying something and then because you say it comes true. When the coaches pick these,
I want to be born January 1st. I want to be born January 1st.
when these coaches pick the kids and saying, oh, you're going to be a great hockey player because you're showing promise right now. That all the coaching they get, the more game time, the more practice time, makes them a better player, which is the self-fulfilling prophecy. Isn't that crazy? But then it comes into the question of, okay, well, that's not fair for all the kids who were born late in the year. We should have separate leagues now because now all the good people, unless you're just exceptionally good and born late in the year, are all just early babies.
Yeah.
So how is that fair? We should have different leagues for
different age
the first
categories.
6 months and the second 6 months of the year. But
they
then,
haven't. It's just been already ingrained.
Like, it's way too much. Like, what the hell, right? Isn't that crazy?
That's cool. I like that.
It's almost not even based on skill and merit.
It's when you're young,
age.
it's age.
Yeah.
When you're young, it's age. For schooling, for academics, for athletics, all age.
Almost. I think there's this idea of age and self-fulfilling prophecy and whatnot applies to almost everything that has a time cutoff.
That's cool. This is another topic, random, but it's on the idea of sports and things that you're interested in. I like that. I'm not gonna use this word ever in a wrong way, but like a nerd. It's like people that are so into something that they're like so good at it is because they love nerding out about it, you know?
Okay.
That makes sense? Like if you were to meet a group of snowboarders that are like really good, they're just like all nerding out because they just love snowboarding. They watch all the videos, they know what to do, they know all the tricks names, they know everything. It's just like a cool idea that these people, they're cool for sure, but like they seem really cool, and it's like when you break it down, they're like just like they love this topic so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Like for me, doing music and audio, it's like it may seem cool on the outside, but on the inside, I'm like such a nerd about it. You know, like I do all this research, I like figure out all these things that are cool, how to make things better.
Yeah,
it's like I'm just a nerd.
Dude, on the same idea, you know, the people that I admire and like the most is cosplayers. Because they're so proud to just be who they are and show that I love this thing. And you know, sometimes these things are nerdy or anime or dweeby or whatever, but I don't care about that. I'm like, yo, the fact that you are so proud to show who you are, but that's and like, wear it on your outfit and look crazy and silly maybe, but just they love it. And that's the best part for me is like, I love that you love this so much. That's why I admire you. That's why I think you're cool.
For sure, 100%. Your confidence is radiant, you know. But I think that's a different word. Like, if you're saying that's like a nerdy thing to do, is it because it's like a cosplay category?
Well, I think nerding about anything is cool.
So cool.
Yeah, I just use cosplayers because I'm sure there's a school of people or a group of people that would say cosplayers are nerdy or dorks or whatever. Yeah, that's why I brought that up. It's easier to paint them in a negative dweeby nerdy image than someone who loves snowboarding and nerds about snowboarding.
But for me, I just like think that like everyone that's good at something is just so nerdy and so cool.
It's so cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
I love it too. But then like those people that would hate on someone for doing cosplay and be like, oh, those guys are geeks and nerds, they're probably nerding out about some other things they like too, you know?
Probably, or they have nothing to nerd out about and they fucking suck.
Damn. They're sad about themselves. Imagine not being a nerd. I want to be a nerd forever.
Loser. You're not a nerd, you freaking loser.
You're not a nerd, you're an average? Ugh, an average.
I have one more thing to say.
Okay.
If you want,
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you like? Do you know a lot about crypto? Okay, so I've recently listened to a conversation. I forget who it was between, but they were talking about crypto, and I'm not into crypto. I haven't invested in it. I don't know much about it, but I'm starting to.
Was it the bartender from my work?
No.
Oh, okay.
Basically, cryptocurrency, digital currency, sending money digitally is going to revolutionize the way we see checkings and savings accounts. Because think about us, people who work hourly, you get paid every 2 weeks, you get a check, whatever. But if you're getting paid digitally, and there's these technologies that can do 50,000 somewhat transactions a second, you could be getting paid as you earn the money. Your bank account could get an influx of money every 30 seconds as you're making it. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it's cool. And that's what the world's changing to. I feel like that's normal now, though.
Think about how much electronics and digital environments of the world, internet, has revolutionized everything. That's going to do that with money. Anything we digitize electronic is going to do that.
Scary.
And dude, think about so there's these banks, it's like Wells Fargo. Let me get the stats really quick. I wrote them down. Here, so Wells Fargo is a bank in America. They have 7,200 branches. They have 13,000 ATMs, and they have 268,000 employees. That's a pretty big payroll. With digital currency, you could have a bank or a financial institution that only takes a handful of people to write the code and manage. Now, all that overhead money that they would have had to pay for infrastructure and buildings and employees and all this shit, that can be reinvested back into the consumer.
In the meantime.
So regular banks right now give you an interest rate of what, 1% to 2%. With digital currency, you could get upwards of like 7% because they're not paying that fee, which makes you more inclined to bank with them, and they get more money. Isn't that crazy? It's revolutionizing everything. And there's this concept called self-repaying loans, where normally you take out a loan. Say you take out a loan of $10,000. Sweet, I have $10,000. I'm gonna have to pay this back with interest at a later time. With electronic or digital currency, you ask for $10,000. They would take half of that, let's say $5,000, and you get $5,000. So you ask for 10, you get 5. They put the other 5 into an interest yielding protocol that makes money. Therefore, you're repaying the loan in real time. Let's just say it takes 2 years to do, but you don't actually have to do anything. They just take part of what you asked for and invest it yield generating protocols.
How does that make them money?
So it's like, because so like it'd be like investing in a company or something, and as that company grows, that 5,000 that they didn't give you yet is making money. Now it's $7,000, and that extra $2,000 is your interest rate, which you don't have to actually pay back anything because it's paying itself as it grows interest.
And the bank is willing to do that for you?
I don't know how widely accepted this is, but I understand that this is a concept that is being rolled out or is in the early stages. But it's just revolutionizing everything.
For sure, this whole crypto, everything's changing so much right now. Damn, that's some good research.
That's
you did there.
Next level crazy, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's a point I wanted to say about your earlier point. You're talking about there's a lot of people. Oh, so there's this thing way back in the day. This thing called bank runs. You ever heard of a bank run?
Is that where one person takes out all their money and
then everyone starts taking money out?
Yeah. Oh, we learned that.
Yeah, we learned
in class.
Yeah. But I wonder if that's gonna like happen ever again, or if it's like so ingrained that this won't happen. Because like now we're going from electronic money to like straight digital money. Electronic money, whereas like in my bank account I see like 1,000. I could take that out, or say more than 1,000. Say it's 1,000,000. If I take that out all at once, the bank's gonna have to struggle because the money's everywhere else. But now it's like money's everywhere else, but now it's all just digital money now. So like if someone wanted to take all the money out, what would happen, you know?
I don't know. I think bank runs, it's a whole fear thing. I think that'll happen with if everyone starts selling off their houses, their properties and investments, and then someone would say, "Oh shoot, why are they selling it? I should probably sell it too. They probably know something I don't know." I think it'll happen in investments, housing.
I feel like it happens every time like
cars,
money,
belongings, anything.
I feel like every time money holding situations change. Whereas like the introduction of the bank, and the introduction of digital money, and then now the introduction of crypto.
Well, you know when it happened, actually, that's not any of the things I just listed, is toilet paper in COVID.
True.
2 people were like, we need to buy all the toilet paper. We're going to shit ourselves during COVID.
Panic. Just like
everyone
take it
bought
all.
toilet paper. And some people didn't even know what they were buying it for. They're just like, oh shit, everyone's buying toilet paper.
I have to buy it. Yeah.
It's the same.
If someone starts running, it's like, why is this guy running? Do I run too? You know? Like, you start running with him. I don't know where you're running from, but you're just running. Interesting. So yeah, but no, that's a cool panic. But I'm just saying in the idea of crypto, like if that were to ever happen again, where would that go?
I wonder if it is happening in the opposite way of fear. It's like there's something to be gained, right? So one person invests in Bitcoin, it starts to rise.
True.
They input a lot of money. Now everyone does it. Some people don't research enough.
They don't even know they're putting money in. They made like Dogecoin, and like they're hitting big. It's like I don't even know what a Doge is.
Yeah, it's a dog.
Doge. I know. I'm not saying me, but like people might not know what's going on.
I wouldn't do that, to be honest. I'd be nervous of investing money for the purpose of like, I'm gonna make this back very soon. I feel like I'd rather be a value investor. Like I see promise in this company, I see promise in this technology. It just feels safer. I'm not a big risk taker. Not a gambler.
It's a gamble. Yeah, straight up, it's a gamble. Cool. So I'm gonna go to the bank now. And I'm gonna take out all my money. But it's probably not gonna affect anybody because I'm gonna take out $1,000 and that's all I got.
I'm gonna buy all the toilet paper I can find.
Okay, let's start panics everywhere we can go.
Yeah, everywhere. We're always running, always sprinting with a bag of money and toilet paper, just sprinting.
You know, the bank, all my money, run out right next door to the fucking the grocery store, get all the toilet paper we can. They still have limits on toilet paper right now? Probably.
I feel like now probably not. Although I've heard talks of a 4th wave, so who knows?
Get your toilet paper, people.
Get all the toilet paper you can find. We're all full of shit, so.
So everyone eats, everyone shits. So if you don't have food or toilet paper, you better get some before we go down to lockdown again.
I hope we don't. I hope we go into like, if anything, like a modified semi-open lockdown.
Yeah, I hope we don't either.
But I mean, it would be good timing with the winter coming. I don't want to be outside anyways.
It's not a good timing though. Even last winter, I thought the same thing, but I was like, no, this is not it.
True, yeah.
Cause like, yo, you want to, especially in the winter, you want to like go out and like maybe go bowling, go to the theater.
Yeah.
Go inside the
Like
dining.
Christmas market or something.
Yeah, man.
True.
Those things might not be so active because there's so many people, but like maybe just like a Christmas shop.
Yeah, or just shopping for this.
Last year was like you couldn't even go in anywhere.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the movies.
Oh, I was talking about the movies earlier. I want to go. I think they're gonna have to change what the movie theater would offer to the viewer, whether it's like,
It's true.
Because you don't have IMAX at home. You don't. Not everyone has surround sound. Not everyone has like rumble seats or whatever. Those would be the things that would draw people out. Otherwise, streaming.
Yeah, for sure. But there's I remember learning about this in class. 2/3 of the people that go to the movie theater are like people that like to go to the movie theater. So it's like
Okay,
recurring
that's
people.
good.
So it would stay alive because of, it's like buying vinyls. People that buy the vinyls because they like doing it.
Yeah, but is that sustainable?
It has been so far. It's 2/3 of the people.
But will it continue to be with the influx of streaming?
We're gonna have to see,
Well, streaming
for sure.
TV shows and streaming music, right? As more streaming, it becomes like widely available with the snap of your finger.
For sure.
Less people want to go to the store, buy a
Convenience
vinyl.
versus like
Less people have
quality
a
though, too.
vinyl record player. Yeah. But I
Because-
guess it just depends. Like, yeah, you're right. There will always be the group of people that are hardcore fans of
Which
being
sucks
in the
then,
movie theater.
because then people that go to the movie theater to help the movie theater survive now have to pay more because they're getting cut on people going to the theater and need to make the money still. So it's like
it's a vicious cycle
yeah,
of
it's like
like
you're taking from the people that
that are sustaining you.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's crazy.
That's the thing though. Like that's why I'm saying movie theaters are gonna have to offer
More.
friggin', like you're gonna meet one of the actors or some shit.
no, nothing crazy. So there's a thing that's come
I don't know. Like,
there's a thing that's
they,
come
they
up
might
recently.
invest. They might invest. They might say, "Yo, Jeremy Renner, be at this movie theater for a week and say
Okay,
hi to
they might do
everyone
it in
before-"
like LA.
They might pay him $1 million to do that, and in thus getting $10 million in return because
For
everyone
sure.
wants to meet him and they want to say hi to him.
That's a cool concept, but the thing is, like, you can't have this one actor everywhere, and that's now you're turning the actor into like this thing you can consume.
That's what actors are.
That's not what they should be.
It is what it is.
So-
Who wants the money, Jeremy Renner or
Okay,
the
so
next
hear
guy?
me out on this. So there's something that's been created recently called Dolby Atmos.
Okay.
Dolby Atmos is like, so there used to be, I'll try and explain it as best I can. There used to be this thing called 5.1 where it was like 4 in the front speakers, so like speakers on each side, and then like one here, and then one sub behind you, and then it became like 7.1, which is like same thing, and now 2 in the back. Now there's this thing called Dolby Atmos where it's like the 5 in the front, 2 in the back, no, 4 in the front, 2 in the back, 2 in the sides, and then 64 across the top.
Holy shit.
So that's something that you can never achieve at your house. So that's probably something that's gonna keep the movie theater alive, because those are like, you literally can't get 64 different channels of sounds coming across
yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
So rather than having an actor have to go into all these theaters, I feel like something like that more, and like a better visual screen, something that can combat the fact that you can get 5.1 at home, you get 7.1 at home, but you can't get this at home unless you're like, you have your own home theater that can support Dolby Atmos.
I would just think that the movie theaters are gonna have to say, we better make sure that this is more appealing than just sitting at home in your
For sure, and that's what I think this is. If you can hear a bird over here and you hear it in that one specific instant,
Yeah.
like right up here, and then you hear like a squirrel back here, rather than like, oh, I hear all the squirrel here and all the bird here. So that's something that would
do
bring
people
people
care
in.
enough though?
That's
to come back
that's what we're
again
going to
and
see
again and again.
as this grows. We have to see if people do care about that. But
Yeah.
for me, I'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm going to Dolby Atmos, I'm in. Like, that sounds sick.
It'd have to be a cool movie like Transformers or something action packed.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Brave did it.
Brave? Oh no way.
Yeah, Brave was the first movie to do Dolby Atmos.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like, imagine that, like, you're in the forest and there's like just like sound
Like there's like like jungle birds behind you,
not
but
even
you don't
behind
see
you,
them
but
on the
like
screen.
and then like behind you, but then they come across the front.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, so it's like that would draw me in as a consumer. And like, yes, I can stream the movie at home, but now when
I
I'm
don't
going,
got Atmos.
yeah, exactly. But now that I'm in the theater, like, yes, I want to experience this as like an experience rather
Yeah.
than just like, oh, a theater. So I think the experience of movies are just gonna get bigger and bigger. But I
They have to.
was on Disney Plus yesterday, and it was like, if you paid $34 a month, you can stream like Black Widow. Like, that just came out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That are coming
now,
now.
so how are movie theaters going to compete with? You can get it the same time as movie theaters, but you're
Yeah,
at
you're at
home,
home.
and it's whenever you want.
I
Versus
think that people will
going
do that. People do that, and like, okay, those people don't want the experience. So maybe like I would do that too, but then also when I want to see a movie really badly, I'll go in.
You know what? I think you're right, actually. Well, I never thought you were wrong, but it's kind of like we have our anniversary dinner. Let's go to this amazing steakhouse for this experience versus let's Uber Eats this great steakhouse. Like, no, you're not really going to do that.
It's like if you want to, movies now an experience.
But how many times do you go to the movie theaters or go to that steakhouse to make it sustainable for them to thrive?
Sure.
Right.
If you raise the price of the theater and the tickets, it's like, I can't go that often. Especially the people that go most are like younger people.
I just want steak in a movie theater.
Yeah. It's like movies on the Tuesday at 2. No one's going.
Yeah.
Except for the young kids that have the free time. But they can't go if it's like $30 a ticket.
Yeah.
But it's like that, or like a wider screen or better resolution that you can't get on your TV, you know? That's what they have to like combat with. Better sound, better visuals, better maybe seating, how they have those big seats now.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah,
but I don't think that bringing Jeremy Renner to every single theater is the best idea. I'll tell you that right now. Jeremy Renner's at home like, no, not again, not again.
He's like looking in the mirror like, oh god, just slapping himself in the face. Let's go.
Damn it, Marc. Why did you do this to me? Why did you give them this idea? Only Jeremy Renner. No other actor, just Jeremy Renner everywhere you go. They've cloned him. There's like 180 Jeremy Renners. And they're all just like at home eating before they go to dinner, before they go to their show. It'd be good. All right, I think we should call it here.
Yeah. That was really fun.
Okay.
Dude, that was pretty big. A lot of big, deep topics at the beginning, but I'm so glad we had it.
Yeah, me too. We'll catch you guys hopefully soon. I have this next week off, so we'll probably make another one.
Cool. All right.
And then we'll see you tomorrow at the beach.
Yeah, we're going to the beach tomorrow.
Okay, see you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Take it easy. Peace.